everybody, it's Gabrielle here today to do a quick little YouTube video, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing why you should get your rabbit spayed and /neutered. So guys, before we get started, don't look at my hair too much, it's a mess. I tried bleaching it, we're not going to talk about it. Secondly, I do apologize if there's background noise, we are in a room full of animals. And thirdly, I got the rabbits a new rug. Appreciate it, it looks real cute. So there's that. So why am I filming this video, you might be wondering? It's because I have experience with owning rabbits who have not been spayed and neutered. So I had an intact female who was 5 years old for about a month before I got her spayed. And then I had Finny here. This is my Finny. He doesn't like me that much. He won't let me pet him. See, told you. Finn here, who was intact, living with a spayed female for about 8 months, I believe. Not only did I think it was a good idea for me to talk about it because I have experience with it and know what it's like to have a rabbit who's intact. And by the way, newsflash, foreshadowing, it is not cute, it is not fun, it is not a good time, it's bad. Number one is health, and this one for me is just why female rabbits need to be spayed. This one is the deciding factor. Whenever I found this information out, I got Nina spayed immediately. Older female rabbits, so older than like the age of 2 to 4, have a 50% to an 80% chance of developing uterine endocarcinoma, which means they have the chance of developing cancer of the uterus. And so that is why you want to get them spayed. Because basically, if you don't get them spayed, they're gonna die from cancer, reproductive cancer. It's just a fact of life. Nina, my female who I got spayed, she had a mass on her uterus, and at the time I hadn't had it tested because I hadn't had like the extra $100 to send it out to the lab. I was about 15, I think, whenever this happened, so I didn't get it tested. And 6 months later, she did suddenly pass, and I personally do think it was reproductive cancer. And in case you need more convincing, this book is by Catherine E. Quisenberry and James W. Carpenter, and these are DVMs. These are certified veterinarians. The one guy is a professor of zoological medicine. He has a whole bunch of other stuff down. This one, Catherine E. Quisenberry, is the service head of avian and exotic pet service, and yeah, so basically they know what they're talking about, and this is their book. I have it because I want to go to school to become an exotic veterinarian, and so I feel like this was a good thing to have on me, and I enjoy looking at it. So basically, let me just read you this real quick. Uterine endocarcinoma is the most common neoplasia of female rabbits. Age is the most important factor in its development, and occurrence is independent of breeding history. Rabbits of certain breeds, tan, French, Silver, Havana, and Dutch, that are more than 4 years old have an incidence of 50% to 80% of developing uterine endocarcinoma. So basically, if your rabbit starts getting older, they have a higher likelihood of not only developing reproductive cancer, but then you're also risking their life with the fact that they're going to be older and going under anesthesia. So you should be getting your rabbit spayed / neutered at the age of like, I believe 6 months to 8 months, or 2 years of age is like the cutoff. I mean, you can after. Again, I got Nina spayed whenever she was 5 and she did great, but like if you need to save up for it and you want to wait, 2 should be the age that you get it done then. So that's just a little bit of information for you guys there. And male rabbits, they have a lower chance of getting reproductive cancer, but they still have a chance, so there's also that to consider. And then next, let's move on to like the behavioral stuff, which is the bad stuff. Behavior in intact rabbits is horrible. Nina, I personally had no trouble with. She was pretty fine, other than she really liked digging at the carpet and pulling up the carpet, which was annoying. Finn, on the other hand, was a disaster. He was horrible. He peed everywhere. He peed on everything. And let me tell you, I was not expecting that. Everything was sticky with pee. So basically expect your whole entire room to be marked with piss. Your whole cage, just pee everywhere. You'll have to have like something to protect your floor. And on top of that, you'll also then have to worry about him chewing on things. So Finn, I was not prepared for this because Nina had been so good. After I bonded Finn to Nina, which I'll discuss about bonding in a little bit, he tore up my whole bedroom. Anything he could get to, he chewed on. Shoes, cords, blankets, wood, anything. It was horrible. I was not expecting it. I had to completely rethink my whole idea. He actually chewed up all of my leopard gecko heat pads, and I hadn't realized it, so I had to replace all of those. Basically, male rabbits and not being neutered is insane. It's insane. I'm sure it can depend on each rabbit, but just expect for a little bit of craziness, like some insanity. You might also deal with aggression. I never dealt with aggression, but some male rabbits and female rabbits will become incredibly cage territorial and will try to bite and thump at you and attack you, basically. But that's also just, you can kind of then tell that that's that rabbit's personality. They're oftentimes more aggressive. Finn's a very laid-back bun, so I didn't have to worry about that. But you will with some rabbits, especially, just, again, that behavior, that sexual behavior just raging through. So just keep in mind, just keep that in mind. That's another key reason. And it was insane having Finn not be neutered. And can I also just say, the change since he's been neutered is insane. I always thought, okay, but he's probably still going to be bad after. No, all those behaviors are gone. He hasn't chewed on a baseboard since he's been neutered. He hasn't woken me up in the middle of the night tearing things apart. He is amazing. He's great now. He doesn't pee on anything. He doesn't mark anything. I don't have to worry about him getting into things that he's not supposed to. Now I have a problem with Annie, who's already spayed, getting up onto like my treat bin and attacking stuff. But that's about it. I mean, it's been a completely 180 in his behavior. Since getting him neutered, I have been able to free roam the rabbits 24/7 for the past, I think, like 2 months at this point. I used to have to lock them up in the cage at night or else he'd be way too loud and I couldn't be able to sleep because he'd be going around like attacking things and like getting into things. But since being neutered, he's been chill, he's been great. They can be out 24/7 with no problems. And I just think it's great. I love it. He's changed so much, but he's still the same bunny. Like, he's still the same dude, but we just don't have to deal with all the destructive behaviors. Hey guys, it's editing me. I forgot to mention this, but one thing to also consider is if you don't have your rabbit spayed / neutered and they are making a mess of things, you can't just lock them up in their cage. Rabbits need 5+ hours of free roam time a day. So basically, you'll have to put up with the peeing, the chewing things up, the everything, because rabbits' care requires them to have free roam time. So you kind of are screwed if you don't get them spayed and neutered and they're peeing and chewing on everything. Next is like litter box training is basically impossible whenever your rabbits are intact. There was poop everywhere, basically. Pee, poop. I already talked about the pee, which was primarily just marking, but I basically had to put fleece down everywhere, and then the rabbits would tear it up, but it was the only thing I could put down that would protect my floor, and I ended up getting pee on my floor. My dad was so mad at me, and poop everywhere. It was ridiculous. In my old room, I had to vacuum daily because of how much poop that would be all over the floor, because I still wanted my rabbits to be free roamed, basically, but I couldn't with, I did, but I basically shouldn't have because they pooped and peed everywhere. It's basically impossible to litter box train, and then you're gonna be forced to just be either constantly cleaning up after them or locking them in a cage, which isn't right either way. Next, bonding is so much easier once your rabbit is spayed and neutered. Finn, I was able to bond 2 female rabbits without him being neutered. And that's because Finn is in general very laid back. But if you have just gotten a male rabbit and you don't know anything about this rabbit, do not try to bond him to another female rabbit that's spayed. You don't know how that rabbit's going to react. You don't know if he's aggressive, if he's dominant, all that. Finn, I knew he'd be fine with Annie. I knew it because he was fine with Nina. So that is why I bonded him to Annie, because I knew how he'd react. If I had just gotten Finn, I definitely would have gotten him neutered before bonding him to anybody. But because I kind of knew him a little bit more, it was fine. But even then, it was still a risk, because he could have still, one day gotten just a burst of, sexual tension or something and went after her. There was still a risk there, and that's something to consider. And then other rabbits are aggressive towards other rabbits because of those hormones that are raging inside of them. So you need to keep that in mind. Is bonding is so much easier because you don't have to worry about accidental pregnancies. You don't have to worry about somebody attacking the other or being too aggressive or then being dominant over certain territories. That completely goes out the window. Now, if your rabbit is naturally aggressive, that's just going to be your rabbit. But if it's hormone related, it'll go away. If it's your rabbit's personality, I don't know what to tell you. But basically have limitless options if your rabbit is neutered or spayed, you can bond them to another rabbit that's spayed and neutered. You can bond a female to another female, a female to a male. You can have 2 males with a female. That might not always work. Keep in mind, bigger rabbit groups doesn't always work, but it can, and that's just it. You then don't have to worry about, again, like accidental pregnancies and other things like that. So keep that in mind, guys. Those are my main reasons. With all that stuff in mind, that is why I personally think it is great to get a rabbit spayed and neutered, just based off of my experience with Nina and Finn. I considered rehoming them at one point because it was getting so bad with Finn and his destructive behavior, because it was getting to the point where I was getting worried that he'd destroy my room, so they were being locked in a cage, and I couldn't really free roam them unless they were being supervised. And then, I completely redid their cage and I was able to free roam them, but still, for a while there I was reconsidering it because his behaviors were so bad. And that's just it, like, it's been amazing having him neutered. He's so much better. He's such a sweetheart. He's always been a sweetheart. He still doesn't let me touch him, but like, not having to deal with the pee and the chewing on things and the baseboard chewing has been amazing. And so yeah, just keep that kind of things in mind, guys. If you can't afford to get your rabbit spayed/neutered, you can save up. Again, like I said, like the cutoff for when veterinarians recommend getting the rabbit spayed is like 2 years. So if your rabbit's like 6 months, like, okay, save up, that's fine. You don't have to get them neutered right away or spayed right away. It's okay to save up, but know that you probably should not bond them to another rabbit. And then if you don't want to get a rabbit spayed and neutered, either don't get a rabbit or go to a rescue, because oftentimes rescues have already spayed and neutered rabbits, and their rehoming fees/adoption fees are $40 to like $100. And if you're unwilling to pay that, then you probably shouldn't get a rabbit because they are incredibly expensive to take care of and all that. So please consider those things. There are plenty of rabbits you can get that are already spayed and neutered that need good homes. So yeah, guys, that's where I'm going to end the video. I hope this was helpful in deciding your decision as to if you should get your rabbit spayed/neutered. But yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like, subscribe. If you didn't, then goodbye.